Welcome back to Ask Anna. It is me, Anna. I was at a Waffle House. This was Saturday night going into Sunday. And no, this was Thursday night. I was at a Waffle House until 7 a.m. And don't ask me how I got there. That's a long story. It's a pretty funny story, but I'm not going to tell it until like a few months from now, because then I'll be over it. But I was at a Waffle House, and this guy came in, and he was young. He was like 26. He was a car mechanic, and he came in with his friend. And I think he pulled up in like an Infiniti. Like, he had a nice car, and that was his thing. He like worked on really nice cars. And I was just sitting at the bar eating my waffles, and it was great. I love the Waffle House and place. They're great. But anyway, we ended up talking, and he kept trying to give me his jacket because I was cold, but I had my jacket. I just didn't want to wear it. That's not important. But we were talking, and he was telling me about how he was very suicidal at like a young age, and then he was telling me about all the things that he well, you can't see, my dog's right here, but he was telling me about all the things that he was going through. And then he was like, oh, but other people have it so much worse. Like, I'm not in a third world country. Like, there's no war happening here. So what I'm going through doesn't mean anything. And I told him about my perspective, and he really liked it. So I wanted to share it too. Just because other people are going through worse doesn't mean you're not in pain, and does not mean that your pain is invalid. Like, just because we're not in a war right now doesn't mean you're not at war with yourself, you know? So I hate when people minimize their own struggle. Like, there's like two sides of the coin, right? You either like blame people for everything, or you just like, I mean, it's like worse. You're like blaming yourself for feeling bad and saying you shouldn't even feel bad, you know? Like, people go through shit. It takes time to heal. And I just thought that that was so sad that like he could be feeling that terrible and then just tell himself, I mean, basically gaslight himself and tell himself that, oh, other people have it worse. And I've like heard that argument so many times. And it's just not fair. Like, if you're going through it, you're going through it, and it's okay to accept that. So we got the Waffle House guy. What other crazy shit happened? Well, I think I'm just learning more how to accept people where they're at. I've went on quite a few dates within the past few weeks, and it's just, you really gotta see people for where they are and how they're gonna stay there. I got a crazy story about some guy who did some shit, but it's like, it's kind of pointless to tell. It's like, I should also hold myself responsible for how he was, because I saw that at the beginning, and then I still chose to see where it would go, and then I just kind of hurt myself more. But you really have to accept people for how they are. Like, you're not going to be that one person who changes their opinion, and you do have to recognize how they see you. So for instance, I'm a dancer, right? And this particular person I met while I was dancing. So he was just looking at me as an option, as an experiment, rather than somebody to care about. And I have to also take responsibility too for realizing that he never really saw me past the objectification, which is fine. I make money off of objectification, but I don't know, you really got to accept people for where they are and then not hold it against them. Like him, I will never talk to that man again, but it's not like I can't sit and say like, fuck you and all this, even though I can, and I have. It's like, okay, that's just who he is. He's just a weak person. Like, I can't help that. I might cut this out. I don't know if I like this shit. It's not very positive. Another thing, let's talk about defensiveness. Because that has been me for a very long time. And it's like as soon as I stopped being defensive and as soon as I stopped like thinking everybody had it out for me, things just got so much better, you know? Like people want to be around happy people, and even though sometimes it's an act, and I do believe you have to be tough and you can't let people walk all over you, I think just being defensive, it just really hurts yourself in the long run. So I guess those are my 3 things. I think that's what I'm going to try to do, just give 3 little points. So I gave you the Waffle House story about accepting your pain and for where you're at. I gave you the seeing people as who they are for the first time and believing it and then letting it go. Then the third one, oh shit, I forgot already. The third one, defensive. Yeah, I don't know. Being a happy person gets you more, but it definitely takes work to get there. So those are my 3 things that I have for this week. I was a little late getting my last video out. Sorry about that, but at least I have like an arsenal now, because this one I won't put out for like another week, and then, you know, I'll have it stocked up. It all works out. But